He's always wanted to own his own business, and so
Own his own business? Well, he seems to own what is it? Is it a harem of women? He seems to be getting that. I don't know if that's tax deductible or not.
I'm doing well. How are you?
Better than I deserve.
Why do people say they're doing well when the title of this is "My Husband Owes $58K to 3 separate women"? I will never to this day understand that.
I was calling because it's a long story short, but my husband had fathered 3 children before we got married. He has separate child support orders on all 3 of them. They're 3 different moms, and together it's a combined total debt of $58,000.
Of all the men in all the world, she said, "That's the man that I want to marry. The father of 1, 2, 3 different women, 3 different kids, and is seemingly deeply in debt." I'm assuming he's deeply in debt for his income if he owes 58 grand. Hey, just saying.
And I didn't know if we should do like your traditional debt snowball on this.
I guess my question is this. And by the way, this topic I understand can be kind of sensitive for some people. So please remember, these are all just my thoughts, my opinions. Feel free to agree, disagree, whatever you wish. All right. It seems to me that a couple of different things. First and foremost, why is she the one calling in? Why does it sometimes seem that the person who's calling into the Dave Ramsey show that's asking for help, that's not the person that should be calling in, but oftentimes it's what I call the innocent party that's calling in. Well, the so-called guilty party, okay, so to speak, okay, should be the one that is calling in. So why is she calling in? The second thing is why wasn't this discussed before she got married to this guy? It seems that before you marry a man who, in my opinion, is very careless, all right, in my opinion, who is very careless, you should have discussed the finances of how these 3 women were going to have their, how they were going to have their debts paid back to them that he owes them. It seems like that should have been solved before getting married. I also don't want to jump the gun, but I am going to say that a woman who is willing to be wife number 4 to a man who's already got 3 kids, all right, probably doesn't have the highest value. I don't know why I say value. She probably doesn't have the highest self-esteem, and perhaps this is the best she thought she could get. Hey, I'm just saying.
Or how we would go about tackling this. I don't feel like that snowball would be good because I don't want to like pay for one child and the other 2 are not receiving any money.
Well, that would be a...
Why is this even her problem? I mean, yes, it is because she married him, but technically, should he be the one calling in? And she almost sounds kind of stressed. I'm telling you, this was 3 years ago, so this is, notice everything in your life is either before the pandemic, during the pandemic, after the pandemic. I don't know if it's just me, but that's kind of how I pace things: before, during, and after. All right.
a good sentiment. Thank you for that. How much other debt do you guys have?
About $5,000. We have a small car loan and
Good.
and a small.
And what's your household income?
About $35,000.
That sucks. So that means they're each making about $15,000. Again, 3 years ago, $15,000. Oh, I know it was like during the pandemic. Told you before, during and after the pandemic. It is, in my opinion, that a woman in this type of situation has low self-esteem. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that just because a guy has fathered children with 3 different women and is $58,000 in debt to them couldn't be an outstanding guy. But if I were placing my bets, I would say he's probably not the most outstanding guy. And the women that are attracted to him are women who have low self-esteem, and just for a moment he makes them feel like they are, on top of the world, and then they come crashing down and rolling down the hill, and they bump into all the other women that he's done the same routine with. Right?
Okay. All right. So just one of you working?
Yeah, I work full time. I make $17 an hour.
Well, how does he have time to work? He's got all these women that he keeps boinking. I mean, how do you have any time to work? Ladies, I'm talking to the ladies because this is about a woman, okay? So I understand it can always be reversed. Everything can always be reversed, okay? But we got to pick. We need to pick more wisely, okay? This guy's got a big old L in front of him.
What does he do?
He's always wanted to own his own business, and so
Own his own business. Well, he seems to own what is it? Is it a harem of women? He seems to be getting that. I don't know if that's tax deductible or not, but he seems to have a harem going on here pretty well. I think he might be, I'm just going to leave it at that. Family Channel.
so this year he decided that he was going to try and start a landscaping company, but it's very seasonal and there's not a whole lot of work right now. So
I think he's just giving her lip service. So in other words, he ain't doing crap, or SHI. You fill in the last letter there. This is the woman that this is the man that this woman said, I want to marry this guy. He has so much value. He does crap. He owes money to 3 different women with 3 different children, and this is the man that I want. It is my belief that, at least from my experience, we create a lot of our own financial hell. Yes, I understand there's financial hell from unexpected medical and stuff. We are putting that aside, because to me that's a whole different thing, okay? But even then, to a certain extent, did we create it? Health, diet, lifestyle. But let's just put medical aside, because I don't really consider medical when I'm talking about, the type of reactions that I do. So just medical gets put aside, okay? That's its own category. But when we just talk about regular consumer debt, relationship debt, lifestyle debt, okay, the everyday stuff, all right? We create our own misery. We create it through the lack of self-esteem that we have. We create it through lack of self-control, such as when I had a spending addiction in my 20s and early 30s. We create it through the inability to move on with our life and forgiveness and everything else. In other words, we create our own financial hell. Again, we're putting medical aside. That's not even relevant to me on this particular channel. Medical is its own thing, okay? Which I totally understand and am very sympathetic towards. But when it comes to consumer debt, we create it. If I look at my debt history, it was really created. We even create it through the people we create to the people we choose to have relationships with. We create it through lack of discussion and saying, how do we see money the same way? Where do you see yourself 5 years from now? And where do I see myself 5 years from now, 10, 20, 30 years from now? Where do we see ourselves? I can tell you that about 5 years ago, I think it was about 5 years ago, at least 4 years ago, I can tell you, about the time I bought this condo, and I bought this condo in 2020, was the first time that I told myself, you know what, I think I could possibly, for the first time in my life, become debt-free. That's what I saw. And I think to myself, I never used to think that way. I never ever thought that way. And when I changed my way of thinking, when I decided that I had the skills and I have the confidence and I have the talent to achieve something, it's amazing. Not saying it was easy, not saying it wasn't a whole lot of sacrifice. There was a lot. Even my family had to sacrifice. They haven't seen me every single year, for the last decade. They've seen me like 3 times. Now I can afford to see them every summer because of decisions that I made in the past few years that changed my financial condition today. I can now comfortably, knock on wood, all that stuff, I can comfortably afford now to see them in the summer. I can now see them every year. But even my family had to sacrifice in not seeing me all the time. Don't know if that was a great disappointment, but I'm being facetious. I absolutely love my family. But she's in this financial situation of her own making. This is almost like co-signing a loan, okay? In the sense that when you marry somebody with a really poor financial picture, all right, not saying that you have to be out of debt, okay? But if I should remarry, it's not a requirement that he be out of debt. The requirement is that us together are able to control the finances in a way that will not sink either one of us, okay? She chose to marry this guy, knowing that he makes no money, knowing that she makes, I think she said $17 an hour, and now she's in this financial pickle, and it's rather a big pickle, all right? She's in this financial pickle because of a decision she chose to make. It didn't have to be like this, and this is what I've learned. And people who are really good with money and have always understood it, have always had self-confidence, have always been able to control all that aspect of their financial aspect of their life, will sit and go, well, duh. But you have to take it from somebody like in my position or in this lady's position and lots of other people's position. When you have low self-esteem, when you have low confidence, when you feel that you are not capable of achieving something, this is how you get roped into situations where you make bad decisions, and thus you bring on just an avalanche of problems. Yeah.
Okay, but I mean, did he start it before winter?
Yes, he started it in April.
They're talking about his desire to be a self-employed landscaper.
And he was making about $500 to $1,000 a month from that.
This guy's worthless. I'm sorry. This guy's worthless. It's not because he wants to be a landscaper. It's not because he wants to be self-employed. That's not the reason. He is a grown effing man with kids, 3 women behind him, and now 4. And you're telling me the most this loser can do is bring in $500, maybe $1,000, with all these obligations behind him? Sorry, he shouldn't be going into self-employment. He should be, flipping burgers at McDonald's and immediately starting to bring in a paycheck.
That.
Okay.
Does she sound tired to you, or is that just me? She almost sounds like she's been crying. But this is her own doing.
So it's not working out.
No.
Okay.
Lady, beautiful lady, are you surprised? Look at the crap pile he has left behind him, and you chose to step in it. I guarantee you, 3 years ago, I guarantee you, this bill has gone up. It has. This bill's gone up. This bill hasn't gotten paid. He didn't sit down and go, man, you know what, I'm going to work really hard. I mean, short of winning the lottery, okay? Man, I'm going to work really hard. This guy has no business starting a landscape business with nothing. Basically being a couch potato. It sounds to me like he just doesn't want to work. That's what it sounds like to me. He's just trying to do anything that keeps him from having to have a 9-to-5 job. Well, I can tell you this, self-employment, I got my little cake business, okay? It costs money to be self-employed. Okay? I think he's very lazy, and I don't think he's really wanting to work so much as he's trying to find a way to possibly bring in income to try to make woman number 4 happy. He really has no business. He's actually an embarrassment to people who are self-employed. I know that. I hope that makes sense. He's an embarrassment. He's an embarrassment to people who truly scrounge for everything they've got to bring in that $500 to $1,000 because they are seriously trying to make a business work. This dude's an embarrassment to people who are self-employed who really are working. This guy isn't that. He's not that.
And I mean, unless he has a plan to get his income up 10x,
Thank you.
he needs to get a job, doesn't he?
Thank you. See? That's what I was saying. This dude has no business going into self-employment. Now, that's not to say that somebody can't be self-employed. No, people can be self-employed. Even I got my little side gig. But true self-employment, not even at the level that I do it. Okay, I got my little cake business, all right? But we're talking people who truly have the passion for full-time self-employment, to really start that business, take those risks. They do it with a passion. This guy, no passion. No passion. I think he would love to have a landscape business, because if he could find a lawnmower that could push itself, he would hire that lawnmower in an instant.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Your nervous laughter tells me he's sitting on his butt, not doing that.
Not exactly.
When it's right then and there, right then and there. Yeah. She is coming to the awareness that this guy's a big loser. But it was her lack of self-esteem. Her lack of self-esteem, what is it? Allowed her to deny all the red flags that were in front of her. I mean, these aren't even red flags. These are great big bridges with signs above it that say stop. There are, small flags. Okay, well, I missed this and I missed that. I missed this dude owes $58,000 to 3 separate women. I mean, at least he could have just one woman and 3 kids. Oh, no. He did this one, then he did that one, then he did this one. Now he's got this one. So what he looks for is women who are who are of low self-esteem but are willing to work hard, because he's happy to let them work on his behalf so he can keep his ass on a couch. That's what he looks for. It doesn't look for the woman who can't keep or get a job. He looks for the woman that has a job. Okay, she's probably not going to make a whole lot of money, because statistically a higher income woman's going to look at him and go, no, thank you. Okay, so he's got to stay right on that borderline of the woman that, she needs low enough self-esteem that she'll be attracted to him because she thinks she can't do any better, but she needs to be just high enough in skill that she can bring in an income. That's the woman he looks for. He doesn't want the one that has no self-esteem and no job. That doesn't help him out any.
Exactly.
Well, what exactly is he doing?
Well, he is at home we have 2 children together.
So now he's got 5 children. Oh, isn't this special? Isn't this special? And that's the man that she said, I do it. I give you my heart. I give you the shirt off my back. Did she think she was going to be something different, something more special than what he already has done to these other 3? And the neat thing about a guy like this, I have to be honest, here's the neat thing about being woman number 3, 4, 5, 6, whatever. They've got a track record. They have a track record. The first risk is always, the first person is the riskiest. That's never been married before, fresh off the, gravy train, whatever. The second one can be a little bit risky, but if they've learned their lessons and they can admit where their wrongs were and they understand themselves better, that one can be, phenomenal relationship. Okay, both of my parents fell into that. Third one, I would have to look at special circumstances and see how they were at. Okay, she's number 4, and the cool part is she's got a complete track record: 3 women, 3 different kids. There's nothing here. It's kind of like when you say to someone, what part of this do you not understand? There is nothing complicated here.
So he is at home with them right now, but
Yes, and I'm sure he's poring over the self-employment papers. I'm sure he's on the business website trying to figure out how to get his LLC with a baby one hand, cooking dinner on the other, right? That's what he's doing. He's poring over those self-employment papers.
While they're at school and
so they're not even, the kids aren't even home, so he's really able to sit on the couch and pore over the self-employment papers.
Justin, he's not really doing much. He's marketing the business and
no, he ain't doing SHI. You know what? This is a family channel.
bull.
He's probably home looking for woman number 5. I'll be surprised if these guys are still married. Seriously. This is the type of guy, he wants to plant seeds in a garden, but he seems to be aiming kind of wrong. That's what landscapers do. They plant seeds, don't they? Yeah.
If he's marketing his business, he'd be making more than $500.
Thank you.
Yeah.
He is marketing his business, just not in the way she thinks, right? And another thing is when you have low self-esteem, you convince yourself that everything's going just as it's supposed to. You live in a whole lot of denial when you have low self-esteem. You deny. I didn't see it. I didn't hear it. I didn't read it. You only see what you want to see.
Okay.
Oh, and you only believe what you want to believe. If it doesn't align with what you want to see and what you want to believe, you can find all sorts of reason to deny.
So, as kindly as I can, I need to just say out loud that there's a guy that owes $58,000 for 3 children that he's not taking care of, and he's doing zero about it. And that's,
or as Dave would say, 3 children he sired, but don't forget the 2 they have together, so we're up to 5.
it's kind of not okay. Was that kind? Because I'm feeling a little bit more unkind than that down inside of me after hearing this story.
Yeah.
So not directed towards you, but this guy needs to take care of the children that he is bound legally and morally to take care of, including the 2 that he's taking care of at home there, and that means he needs to get off his butt. Okay,
Yeah.
But he's not going to get off his butt if every time he can find a new woman to sire. I don't even know how to spell sire. Every time he can find a new woman to sire another baby with. Right?
And that, I won't get any meaner than that, but that's what I'm, because and his wife is calling me more concerned about the children that aren't even hers in a moral good way. A lady of ethics, a lady of honor and standards is what you are.
Like I said, he doesn't pick women who are totally without thought and intelligence, because they have to have some level of that to hold a job, okay, that pays more than $8-9 an hour. She makes $17 an hour. Now, that's above the $15 an hour minimum wage that people are wanting. So he's got to pick. What he needs a woman who has low self-esteem, but she has just enough skill and talent that it benefits him. And she's just right on that borderline. She's not an $8-9 an hour employee. She's a $17-18 an hour employee. But she has low self-esteem, so she qualifies. She's the perfect person.
So he needs to go make like $40,000-$50,000 a year, working like 60-80 hours a week, and pay this back child support off is what he needs to do.
And I bet he has no skills either. So to me, he needs to be working double shift at Chuck E. Cheese. Start passing out those whack-a-mole tickets to kids. Like I said, he has no business looking at self-employment. None at all.
And that's what he should do starting now. Ready, set, go. And so, because I think there's 2 things involved. I mean, not only is there the mothers of the children that you that you would have to negotiate with and get started with this thing on, but there's also the state that's involved. And in some states, they'll put you in jail if you are not actively addressing this stuff.
Yeah. I've never agreed with putting a parent in jail, because what does that solve? That really solves. I know people go, but it'll scare them. You know what? If a guy or if a man or woman can get to the point where they're going to jail for it, trust me, they don't give a crap. So jail to me is not the way to do it. I just don't. I think it's a waste of taxpayer money, quite frankly. Jail is not the answer.
We did have the police show up at our door one time.
Are you paying?
Oh, she picked a real winner here. Ooh, this is the winner of a guy.
Are you paying something on it now? Is that what's holding them at bay?
No, we're just kind of, I guess he's just flying under the radar right now. I'm not sure exactly how.
Okay, so clearly she sounds like she's crying. Was this preventable? Did this have to happen? Yes, you can love the two children, but did this situation have to happen, or was it decisions that were made? Okay? Decisions that were made. She did this completely to herself.
But he did get his license revoked also.
So it looks like he can't drive. Oh, wow. My day's looking, I should say my night's looking less stressful. You know, whenever I go home, if I'm working, I think, oh, stress. And then I have to do is just play one of these videos and go, okay, well, maybe not so bad after all.
This guy's really struggling, isn't he?
No, the guy's a loser, Dave. You're being too polite. This isn't struggling. Struggling is what I did to figure out how to stop being a shopping addict. Struggling is what people do when they work every day to try to feed their family, put food on the table, keep the lights on. That is struggling. Okay? This is just a jackass who likes to do nothing but plant his seed in different women, who then he dumps for the next lady, and he just repeats this cycle. This is not struggling. Struggling is the person who wants to be a sincere entrepreneur and spends their days and nights figuring out how to best do it, spending their time networking. Struggling is the person who tries to go to school and tries to figure out a way to do it when they've only got so many dollars, they don't have any parental help or anything else. That's struggling. This is just a jerk of a guy who wants nothing to do with responsibility and wants everyone else to take care of the problems for him. All he wants to do is lay up on the next woman's couch, literally and figuratively.
Yeah.
Which is leaving you in a real pinch, too.
I think he just feels like there's no hope.
No. He didn't feel like there was no hope. She felt like there was no hope. And that's why she chose this guy. That's why she chose him. And that's why she told herself there's nothing better. This is the best I can get. A 3-time loser. She thought there was no hope. Okay? His pity party of, oh, I just think there's just no hope. This is just the best. Damn, guy. You know, you've had your turn at 1, 2, 3, and 4. I'll be surprised if these people are together more than a few years. Nah. She feels like there's no hope. That's why she's the one who called in. That's why she's the one crying on the phone. He don't give a crap. He doesn't care. He doesn't care at all. Hope to him isn't even a thought. All that he cares about is that his bills are paid by somebody else. He's got a couch to sleep on, a bed, or he's got a couch to relax on, a bed to sleep in, a roof over his head, paid for by somebody else. That's all he cares about. Hope isn't even in his vocabulary.
Yeah.
Like he'll never be able to pay it off.
Yeah. There's one.
Oh yeah, he can pay it off. $58,000 when you are a father. Yeah, you find a way to pay it. You absolutely find a way to pay it. No, he's lazy.
100% chance there's no hope using the program he's using now in his life.
Thank you, Dave. Thank you. Absolutely right.
Mm-hmm.
Which is behaving in a way that causes him to lose his license and create no income.
Yeah.
So he's got to change behaviors. And
do you need a license to push a lawnmower? To buy those lawnmower machines? I'm being very sincere. I'm not being sarcastic. I don't know anything about, you know those riding lawnmowers. Now, I know this may sound stupid, okay? I generally don't know, do you have to have a license? I do obviously have to have a vehicle license, but I don't know if in the world of landscaping, because I don't landscape, I don't do things that get dirt under my nails, because I just don't like yard work, okay, at all. Haven't picked up a rake since I was like probably 10 years old, okay? But I don't know if you need some sort of license to like operate certain mowing equipment and stuff. under business terms. Not think of it like a car, but like, do you have to have some, like you know what I'm thinking of, commercial driver's license, where you have to have a license to drive a big truck. Okay, do you have to have a license to ride some big tractor type lawnmowers? I generally don't know. I'm not in that area.
And that's your only shot here. Yeah, I mean, no, I would not debt snowball and pick one of these children over the other. But
well, and I'm not even sure she's allowed to do that from a legal standpoint, because I've known women, somewhat in this situation, okay, and one of the, I remember years back telling me that it was, and I'm going by memory here, it's been over 20 years, but I think she said the women had to kind of like, God, this sounds like a lousy way of saying the women, but just forgive me for, you know, for the moment, but the women had to kind of like stand in line, and it was an order from oldest to youngest, and like, what was it? She said her arrangement was, because she was in this situation, like I said, this is over 20 years ago, the first child, he had to completely pay that child off, and then when that child's debt was paid off, then it went to the second woman, then the third, okay, all right, that's the most I know about it. I don't know if that still holds true. I just know I had a friend who was like, I think she was number 3 in line. Again, this is years ago. I think she was like number 3 in line, and she said she actually had to wait till the first one was taken care of. That may not be legally required. That may have just been voluntary. I didn't get that deep into it. But I'm not sure if I'm not sure if she has full say as to how these kids are paid. The state may override it. His character is struggling. His character.
If he were my friend and I were sitting with him a cup of coffee, here's what I'd tell him. I think you need to find a really good church in your area and find a pastor.
So he can go to bed with the women there and spread his seed around? I know I'm being sarcastic.
Who is kind but is also very, very tough and strong, who will speak into his life and help him form some of the things that he's missing in his character to be able.
Thank you. I used the word character. I used it first. Let the record show.
Able to serve those children, you and your children, and he'll get great joy when he turns his life around in that regard.
Not going to happen. Let me just save you right now, Dave. It ain't going to happen. This guy, the last thing he needs is a bunch of church ladies, all right, gathered around him. He doesn't seem to make good decisions when the women are gathered around him. I mean, in an ideal world, yes, he would get down on one knee and he'd say, I am going to change my life and I have found the new direction. Just, I want to do it with the women number 5.
Because right now he has no joy. There's no dignity in the way he's behaving now. And it's not helping him. And it's not impressive. And it's probably hard on your marriage. It's probably hard on you. I mean, you're.
This guy wants. I don't know. I shouldn't say it perhaps, but I don't know if it's accurate. But this is no man. This guy is no man. If he thinks he's the man, no, he's not. He's not.
You're the only one doing anything in this story. So.
Which is the type of woman he picks. He picks the women. I'll say it again, that have enough going for them that they make above minimum wage, they can hold a job, they can't be so unmotivated that they're not willing to work, they're not so unintelligent that they can't get above minimum wage, okay? He picks the woman, it's just on that cusp, you know? But maybe enough has happened to her in her personal life that she feels this is the best she can get, so she goes for it. And I guarantee to you, he makes them feel like $1 million when he's courting them. I guarantee to you. This is the type of guy that they just swoon and fall head over heels for. It wouldn't even surprise me if he was somewhat good looking, to be totally honest. This would not surprise me. You know, I know we think it's easy to go, oh, he's just going to be a real ugly guy. You know, not necessarily. Not necessarily. There's some good looking guys. There's some real losers. They're out there. They're out there.
So, he desperately needs to get some good men in his life to walk with him and help him get on a better track than he's on overall. And then the net result of that can be a better income, and the net result of that can be that the back child support bill gets taken care of.
I say forget the pastor church thing, because I can tell you right now it's not going to work. What I think needs to happen is these women need to stop funding his lifestyle and just basically kick him to the curb. But here's the sad part. Here's the reality of it. And that's the end of the video, so I'm going to go ahead and enlarge this up. All right. Here's the reality of it. She makes the income. I would tell her to divorce him ASAP, because if they divorce, guess who can wind up paying alimony? Because that one person makes the income. She can wind up paying him. Yes, she could. Right? He's the stay-at-home dad with the kids that are in school. She's the working woman. That she decides they want to divorce. She could find herself paying him. Yeah, that's just the reality of the situation.